Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to our channel. I'm Erin.
And I'm Michelle, and we are two Canadian geese.
Thanks so much for coming back, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. We post every Monday at 7 o'clock. This week, we have a bit of a different video for you. We're gonna do a sit-down video. We haven't done that in a while, but we've gotten a couple of comments and people requesting this. So today we are going to be doing a video on how we deal with conflict or arguments or anything that might come up between us. So
how we resolve it.
Yeah, so that's our plan for today.
So let's get right on into it.
Two Canadian geese are mates for life, traveling partners within an expansive sky.
Go through sort of the four main steps or the four main points that we try and make whenever we are going to have a conversation. And yeah, that's another big thing, is we always approach it as a conversation and not an argument. Like, I think it's safe to say that we haven't had a single argument.
Yeah.
We've had some conversations.
A lot of conversations, but
no arguments.
It's never turned into an argument or gone to the extent of being
a fight or an issue.
Or a conflict, really.
Yeah, so that was the number one thing, is always approach it as a conversation and not an argument. But essentially there's certain goals that you want to set for that conversation, so that way we know what are we getting out of this, because there's no point in just arguing for argument's sake or having this conversation for conversation's sake, right? So there are some goals that we will go through for what we find helpful when entering into this conversation.
And what works for us.
Exactly. Goals for all of these conversations. Michelle will start us off.
Okay, so the main ones are we want to come up with a space where we're going to compromise and forgive. So those are the main goals, as well as...
Yeah, so some of the other ones is always opening up to communication. So instead of bottling something in, you bring it up right away, because that is a pretty surefire way to minimize the issue before it gets too big.
Or blown out of proportion.
Exactly. And the last goal that we try and set for these conversations is really, I think the most important one, is to minimize the chances of the issue repeating. So we want to come to a solution or come to an agreement at the end so we can minimize the chances of it happening again.
And I feel like usually we do that.
Yeah, usually we're pretty good for that. So those are some 4 goals that you guys can try and set if you're going to have a conflict, whether it be with your partner or anyone. It's be willing to compromise, be willing to forgive, always communicate, and minimize the chances of it happening again. So moving right along into our 4 steps for a successful conversation or successful conflict resolution. So the first one is, before the conversation even starts, both people have to agree to a calm conversation. Agreeing to that sets the tone for the whole conversation. So you want to agree to a calm conversation and also agree to being honest about your feelings, because this is your chance to let it out. And if you don't, how is the other person supposed to know?
And then, as well as, if you are not honest, then it's going to be a reoccurring conflict. So it's going to come up again.
Yeah. So yeah, being honest and calm, that's a good basis for the rest of the conversation.
Step 2 is don't interrupt each other. This is especially important because it gives both parties the opportunity to be heard, and as well as both partners listen to each other attentively.
Yeah. I know Michelle sometimes has an issue with interrupting.
A very big issue.
So we have to remind her, it's my turn. I will listen to you, but right now I need you to listen to me. So again, staying calm, but agreeing to let the other person say their piece before you say yours. This comes to the point where, we're trying to talk over each other, or I forget what I'm going to say because she interrupts me, or the other way around, something like that. So yeah, don't interrupt and just let the other person talk and you listen, and then you can switch.
And it works so really well.
Exactly. Step number 3, or point number 3, is to take breaks if you need it. Michelle and I have a rule in our house to never go to bed angry. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we resolve the conflict that night, right in that moment. Pretty much what our goal is you just table it. If I'm, not ready to have the conversation, maybe I haven't had time to reflect or think about my thoughts or my feelings, we'll table it, come back to it.
As long as both of us aren't angry or fuming about it, as long as we somewhat resolve it to a point where we can go to bed happy.
Yeah, or at least agree that we're going to revisit it. Say, this is not important right now. What is important is that I love you, we're gonna be fine. Let's just go to bed, try again in the morning when we've had some time to cool off or had some time to think about it, that sort of thing. So take breaks if you need it, and make sure that there is that opportunity to come back to it after you've done some thinking or some self-reflection or whatever.
Because sometimes that is what you need. Sometimes you don't have enough time to think about something when you're having an argument in the moment.
Yeah, and I know for me, I overreact inside my own head sometimes, and then I'll come back to it or I'll think about it later and I'm like, oh my god, that was dramatic. So
I do the same thing.
So that opportunity can come up as well. So that's important. Take breaks if you need it.
Step 4 is to stay in contact. I think it's important to be connected even if you are having a conflict or an argument. Especially for me, I get nervous in conflicts, very anxious. So having physical touch with my partner while we are having an argument is important for me to regulate my emotions better and have a better conflict resolution.
Yeah.
Because it keeps me calm.
Yeah. And for us, it's a big sign of like, it's okay. This is a conversation. Like, I don't not love you. I don't, I'm not angry with you. We're going to talk about this situation and it's going to be okay. So, things like touch, eye contact. I know for me, eye contact can be kind of hard sometimes. So I'll just like hold her hand, and if I'm looking down or whatever, she still knows that I'm involved in the conversation.
When you're touching the person, it lets them know that you're still engaged in the conversation.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think that's where we are good at that, whereas like other people may not. Some people may be very angry and
slam the door and walk away or leave the situation, right? So we try our best to avoid that. So we'll show you how we have our conversations, okay?
I didn't like the way you made me feel yesterday. I was very hurt by your actions.
I'm really sorry. What specifically can I avoid next time?
Next time, maybe you can not avoid me all day.
Okay.
And talk to me more.
Okay, I hear you, and I'm sorry. I was very busy today. I should have texted you in the morning and just told you that I was going to be busy. So, I'll get better at that, and I'm sorry that I made you feel neglected.
That's okay. Is there anything I could have done differently?
I don't think so, Bippy. When I'm at work, I think that maybe we just have to have an understanding that I'm at work and that I should have texted you in the morning, but when I'm at work all day, I'm very busy.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you.
Done. But yeah, it's not that hard. If you love someone, you'll learn what they need to feel secure and what they need to feel relief out of a conversation like this. And like Michelle said, we both don't like conflict at all. We avoid it at all costs. So this is the best way for us to approach it in like a calm way, so we're not freaking out about it all day.
Yeah.
Because I know like sometimes things happen and we say, let's have a conversation tonight about it or something like that. And I don't have to freak out all day knowing that I'm walking home into an argument. I'm just walking home into a conversation.
But if we know we're going to have an argument or there's something wrong, we force ourselves to talk about it and we force ourselves to communicate with each other so that we don't have the same issue happening later or our emotions don't get bottled up.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
For us.
It takes a lot of trust and it takes a lot of just maturity, I think, that we both have coming from our past relationships and where we are in our lives right now. But yeah, you guys could use these tips and we hope it helps, but
this is just our way.
Yeah. So that is it on our Conflict Resolution 101. Thanks so much for coming, guys. We are really excited to get some more content out for you, so make sure you're subscribed. We also have a TikTok. It's going to be linked down below. We are getting very close to 1,000 subscribers, and when we get there, we're going to give you free stuff. So keep an eye out for that because we are going to be doing some announcements around that soon. But yeah, thanks so much for coming, guys.
So stay safe and see you next time. And
Have a gay day.
day.